Hello everyone, what's happening? You're on the Empire with me, Dave, and it's time for our latest review. We are taking a look at the follow-up to the multiplayer-only 2014 big stompy mech-based shooter Titanfall with the originally named Titanfall 2. Straight out of the box, you can see that there are some immediate enhancements. For example, a campaign mode. Yep, no longer is this a multiplayer-only experience. The game is set after the final battle in the original Titanfall game, the Battle of Demeter, and puts you in the helmet of a frontier rebel rifleman as they attempt to invade some of the local big bad corporate dudes' secret and shady bases. Things naturally go a little bit sideways and you find yourself promoted to the rank of pilot with your very own big stompy mech in BT-7274, or BT for short. I've got to be honest, my expectations from the campaign were quite light considering that the first game channeled the story experience through a series of multiplayer games. But to my very pleasant surprise, I found that this game held a really interesting and compelling experience with some fantastic level design, great story and narrative, and some really outstanding fast-paced action set pieces. It gave me way more than I expected of it, and I can really say that it was a complete blast to play through. It felt original, and whilst this isn't the first entry in the Titanfall series, it's the first real narratively driven experience to come from it. I was impressed. The multiplayer has received some fairly significant changes. Once again, you have a pilot and a Titan, and depending on the game mode you may find yourself starting as either. The dynamic double jumping, dash and slide movement of the soldier and the huge feeling of power from being in a 40-foot tall stompy mech are both present and provide you with two distinct and fun styles of gameplay throughout each of the game modes. Customization is focused mainly on the pilot, with the Titans being a more role-defined and having a very limited set of tweaks around their abilities. Whilst this seems like a downgrade from the original, I actually don't mind it. There's already so much to do with the pilot that repeating it with the Titans seems a little like overkill. Some may not enjoy the limited customization there though, so that is definitely something to be aware of. I've got to be honest, I'm not amazing at the multiplayer, but there is most definitely a learning curve to go through. Moving around as a pilot really does mean that you need to relearn how you move through and around terrain. Once you've got the hang of that, things get easier, a little. There is no question that this is a challenging game to master, but it's not frustrating in the same way that a lot of multiplayer experiences are. A good Titanfall at the right time on your team can turn the tide of a battle, and if you're on the losing side, you still get an opportunity to escape the combat zone as a final act of denial to the victorious side. Overall, I've enjoyed the game modes and the multiplayer rounds that I've played in this game. In summary, this is a great addition to the Titanfall franchise. It's bigger and more complete than the original game, has a well-written single-player campaign, and a fun, satisfying multiplayer experience. I'm concerned that it's not going to get the recognition that it deserves because of the release window that has been chosen for the game. It's competing against two titans of the FPS world, no pun intended, but if I'm honest, I've enjoyed this game way more than I've enjoyed either of the other two. For me, this gets a well-deserved 9.1 out of 10, and I would most definitely say that it deserves a place on your Christmas list. Until next time, this was Dave.